All right, so me and Ellie are going to walk you through a current client who has been in with us for the past few months. Now, last time she updated her weight was back in June, the end of June. So I just want to give you a heads up there. I am filming this on July 4th. And the reason I'm bringing this up and why I'm so excited to go through this client case study is because this client has been deployed since she has stepped in with us. All right, so she signed up while she was deployed. Now, this goes to show to anyone that is watching this who's in the military that you can in fact get results with the chow hall food, okay? Because that is one big, the biggest excuse I typically hear. I don't have time. I don't have the capabilities of somebody else. Meal prepping. I don't have time to meal prep. Well, guess what? This client did not have the ability to meal prep, and she also didn't have the ability to weigh her food. So if you have any of those and you're watching this, you are 10 steps ahead of this client. And she's down, almost 18 pounds. So let's go through it because the reason I'm excited for this, it just goes to show when you have the right systems in place, it doesn't matter what you have access to. Quite literally, we've had clients over the years who've worked out for 10 minutes. And I'm not even joking. Go look at Holly's interview on my page if you don't believe me. And she's lost a decent amount of weight while we worked with her. And very busy, hour and a half commute, mom, all that stuff. So that's why I like to bring these clients up and showcase things because the impossible is only what you believe in, right? If you believe that you can get things done and you can show up for yourself every single day, you can 1000% get results. And it comes down to grit and just wanting it. And that's what she is the NCOIC in charge. While she's been down there, I love working with officers because ultimately for them, they really want to show up for themselves. They're leading by example. And if you're a leader in the military or even someone on, law enforcement or fire, you showing up like this is leading by example, right? So she was showing up on her deployment. I was talking to Coach Casey, who she's been underneath through this entire time. We were joking because she's like, I cannot believe how great Sharon's doing. And, being deployed, she's, been in places where she's had like very limited equipment, moving around, long days, and still down almost 18 pounds. Like, give it to her, right? She earned it. She's been putting in work and she just still has time left with us. So she just got home from deployment, so she's enjoying herself a little bit. But she's still focused on her goals, okay? I'll show you guys her pictures in a second. There we go. So for her, right? So this is only from March to May. So you can already see the difference. We don't have anything updated recently because, again, she just got home. So she's been chilling. And I don't know her situation while she's been over there. But you can see, like, in the background, she's got bunks. She's in the bathroom there. And when it comes down to deployments, every woman that we do, a lot of women that are deployed inside of this program because they want that structure that they're not really getting over there, right? Sometimes PT isn't always organized, things of that nature, especially when you're the officer in charge. Essentially, what that brings is longer days, leadership meetings, paperwork, planning things out, and you just don't get the same capabilities as the junior enlisted. And that's what typically happens for women who move up in rank. They lose the hour or so that junior enlisted gets, right? So that's why we primarily work with NCOs, officers, women in more high ranking positions. We work with FBI, CIA, pilots. We have a police chief in right now, lieutenants, lieutenant colonels, all that stuff. So you can see what I'm getting at is many of these women are trying to leverage their time. And I'm going to show you what she did while she was in to get these results by just eating chow food and the chow hall, and then at the same time, like bringing in a couple snacks that she brought, overseas with her. All right, so you can see here, this was her food log back at the end of June because she was still over there. She just got back a few days ago, but I just want to preface this, right? Many of you guys that are looking at this, y'all can see these are the plates, the trays, you got your little water. You know she's eating food over there. I mean, she's eating DFAC food, which in my opinion, if you could do it right, you see how she's just like managing her plate, watching things, she's eating snacks, she's prefacing on like veggies and all that stuff. So it's not about like people get really caught up, and I think this food looks pretty decent, honestly. I've seen some chow hall like stuff that looks pretty weird. This is a taco bowl. Perfect. I do this all the time, or burger bowl, it's one or the other. I can tell with the meat, but I literally just had a burger bowl right before filming this, so that's actually hilarious because this is stuff that we teach our clients inside. So she can use that stuff. It looks like she's got some rice underneath, and that's what I do with my burger bowl. And it's just teaching people, like, you can still have sandwiches, you can still do all of this stuff. And that's how she basically managed her weight and like lost weight while she was over there, being smart, picking good choices, you know. Fuck, dude, like, you know what? You can still have a burger. Like, we're not gonna kill them about that stuff. So, like, it's so important. You can see she's eating some protein bars. She's eating her breakfast that was there. Just taking pics. We got here a little bit of a little bit of pizza action. So I just want you guys to see, like, as we go through this client stuff, she doesn't have everything, but she's using, like, I use this exact same protein powder. I put it in my coffee, exactly how I eat. But they learn how to do it based on like their what's going on in their life, and that's what we teach our clients. It's just like understanding how to really navigate stuff. And she's not always perfect with her food either. I just want to let you guys know, like, perfection isn't what we're aiming for here. But I want to show you some examples on what she's eating: an omelet, sausage, bacon. You know what I'm saying? She's going in, she's having her fruit as her carbohydrates, chicken, rice. You see what I mean? It's not impossible to get this stuff done. She's still eating on the fast food line. You know what I mean? People, I hear people every day of the week. Oh, I eat, you know, junk food in the chow hall and all this stuff. Yeah, guess what? So do our clients, but they make it work because they're balancing everything. She's still eating cake, baby. Let's go. I want you guys to see this because at the end of the day, you know, you can still have all of this stuff. You know, when I would go through the chow hall, I would still have all of this stuff. And it's not that you can't have it, it's teaching you how to manipulate these foods for your goals. Because at the end of the day, if you never learn how to do that, you'll never be able to follow a diet that fits your lifestyle. So, with her, right, we were very much dialed in on just making sure she did her best. Not every day was perfect. Perfection is not the key here, okay? So let's just bring this over here real quick. Little quick notes. So, right, perfection, like that wasn't, oh my goodness, what wasn't our goal. So while she's going through, right, she had listed on her workouts, let me see. She never tracked her workouts, I will say that. But we had her listed for like around 4 days a week, right? So 4 days a week workouts. Now, for her goals, right? So this was her goals when she was with us. Let me pull this up really quick. When she first came in, we had her at 1,800 calories, okay? But she was only averaging, right? So we'll say her average was 1,532. So, what do you guys really think? You're sitting here, you're watching this video, you're like, dang, oh man, she's deployed. She's lost 18 pounds in a couple of months, and I can't even figure it out, and I'm stateside. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think needed to change for this individual, and probably needs to change for you as you're watching this, right? Probably need to eat more. Now, what happens when I tell people to eat more? So first, what you need to follow and figure out is what your current intake is. I will say this in every single video that you probably have watched of mine, and you probably just keep like, well, if you haven't implemented that yet, I swear it's gonna come for you. But no, seriously, you need to track at least 3 to 5 days of your nutrition. Now, this is important because most people, right, her average was 80 grams of protein. Most women, after 6 years of doing this and helping, you know, talking to thousands of women, working with almost 1,000 women, what I've learned is most people are only getting 60 to 80 grams per day, max. Too low, right? Too low. We were aiming for 130 grams of protein for her. So that was our first, boom, red flag. This is what you need to change, adjust, modify, improve on. So as she came through, it still took her a little time. She was an undereater. But guess what? By March, she was eating 1,800 calories. So after a couple weeks, she improved. All right. Now you have to remember, right? We're working through a client who's deployed overseas. So perfection wasn't the goal currently. It was just getting her to eat more because, you know, that's a typical struggle. So just figuring out what she can kind of do, implement, working with her coach one-on-one to ensure that. So we finally got her to eating at least, right, 120 grams. So huge improvement, right? And as she progressed and kept going, she was averaging at least 120 grams of protein. And she's been able to do that. And at minimum, right, she was hitting 100 grams. I tell my women this all the time. I was like, listen, if you can't hit the goal that we're aiming for, at least, at minimum, hit 100 grams of protein in per day. If you can at least do that, you will get results. And that's exactly what she did. She had some weeks that were rough, so she'd always aim for at least 100 grams when she could. So if you can take anything away from this video, just looking at one, that client's short transformation, right? She's still in with us, so she doesn't get done. Let me see. I think she gets done in a couple more weeks, possibly, maybe 2 or 3 more weeks she has with us, or maybe a little bit longer. Oh no, she still has a month with us. I lied. So she still has 33 days left from me filming this video, and this is July 4th. So she's got plenty of time to lose even more and really focus more on her body recomposition. Because, like I said, those pictures I showed you were only a couple months apart, and she's been with us, a lot longer since those pictures were taken. I think it was May. So you have just like, a couple more weeks in between there. So she still has 33 days left. So as she comes through, you can see like right on her targets. Let me see if I can show you guys this really quick. I just want to show you really quick. Let me see, where's her stuff at. Yeah, her goals, right? You guys can see like she has not been like super duper perfect here, right? Her 18, 16, 14, 13, 18, 18, 17, 17. So she's getting close, but she'll have some days where they're a little wonky. So I want you guys to understand this, right? If you're trying to drop weight, if you're trying to work on your body recomposition, whatever your goal is, if you take anything from this client, it just comes down to not quitting and being persistent and consistent, okay? So she, even though had rough days, she still took pictures, she still showed up, she still logged what she could. She did not stress about like, oh, I didn't hit my targets today. She thought, you know what, I'll just make it up tomorrow or I'll do a little bit better. And that alone, I tell women all the time, will make or break your progress, because the first second you falter up here, that's the first step where people quit because they just think they failed, and then what do? They stop tracking altogether, and then they restart every Monday. Now with her, right, with Sharon, she at least had someone in her corner being like, listen, like, who cares if you had a shit day? Like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna plan a little bit better tomorrow. Let's figure it out from there. And that's what they did. They went through. I was talking to Coach Casey about this the other day. She's like, man, we've been changing her stuff left and right, especially when it comes to her workouts, because like where they were getting stationed or moved or whatever the week brought, everything changed. So if you are someone that's living with something that there's a constant change going on, you have to learn to adapt, right? Adapt and overcome. Because guess what? Nothing will ever be perfect. Because I bet you this, right? Sharon came home, and guess what she's probably doing? She's going to visit all her family. She's going to visit all her friends. She's going to be going out to eat. She's probably going to have some drinks. And while she's been in with us, she's already learned that it's not impossible to still get results with that, because it can't be any harder than when I'm deployed, right? So ultimately for her, she's back, she's enjoying life. She's still working on her goals while she's in with us. But at the same time, she's overcome the thought of like, life is never going to be perfect for me. Things are always going to happen. Because what if she could have did is like wait until when she got home. And then what happens? Oh, I'm going to be visiting everybody and I'm going to be super busy and I'm not going to be able to do this. And then what? Gets pushed back again. And then what happens? Life picks up. Maybe she's got kids, all that other stuff. Oh, I'm too busy right now. And then the loop continues. Sharon decided, guess what? Life is going to get crazy no matter what, and I'm going to do it anyway. So ultimately, I just wanted to showcase this client, give you an inside glimpse, walk through quickly where she's at, how much she's down, that the fact that you can still lose weight with DFAC food, and you can still get results with like way limited equipment. I'm telling you, like, they've changed her stuff so many times, where just between body weight to like dumbbells to like gym equipment, that ultimately you can still overcome all that. It just comes down to like learning how to use your time, manage what you have access to, and then tweak and adjust things. So if you guys have any questions, hopefully this was a little insightful for you, especially if you're someone in the military and you just feel like you can't win because of maybe you're stuck eating DFAC food, maybe you're deployed, maybe you have a limited food in terms of, wherever you're at. We work with wildland firefighters that deal with the same thing. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to actually understanding food, learning how to manipulate it, and just picking the best choices you possibly can, right? Because you're always setting yourself up for failure if you're eating pizza every single day at the DFAC. You can still have it. You just need to do it like in a way that makes sense. All right, so again, if you haven't followed my page yet, hit subscribe. I'm going to keep dropping a ton of client, case studies, client interviews, some trainings I think will be super helpful and valuable for you. And again, if you are military, I do have a 14-day guide, so drop the word OPSEC below and I'll send it directly over to you.